Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am super excited for this video because we're going to be playing with the Norns palette from Oden's Eye Cosmetics. They recently released this entire collection, but today we're focusing on the bigger 16 pan eyeshadow palette in all of its glory. It's super pretty, so I was excited to play with this more. And this video is actually sponsored by Oden's Eye. They wanted me to do 3 looks with this palette and I was all about it. In fact, this is actually going to be like a 2-part sponsorship because I'm going to be also doing 3 looks with the little mini palettes they released in this collection, and that'll be coming very soon. I do also have an entire first impression swatching this whole collection and doing 2 different eye looks, so if you're curious to see that, I will have it linked down below. But for now, focusing on the Norns palette, let's just go ahead and jump on into the 3 looks. Okay, so jumping into the first look, I really just want to focus on the shade Pink Chameleon, just giving that its own moment. I'm thinking brow bone, inner corner, on the lid, on the cheekbones. I'm just super happy that it's in the palette, so I want to do a full multi-chrome moment and then probably use some mattes to kind of add some definition and everything. So I'm going to start off with this mauve right here, which is called Mist. So I'm just going to go ahead and start that off through my crease. Really love this color. Such a pretty shade, and it blended really well the first time I used it. So I'm just gonna really focus it on my crease, and then once most of the color is deposited, I'll blend upwards. I'm just gonna go back in with a little bit more. I'm also gonna take that mauve along my lower lash line as well. All right, now I'm going to take this brown right here called Pragmatism, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on my outer V. Okay, so next I want to use this shade called Obsessed. I feel like it goes along with the color story that I'm doing right now, so I'm just going to pop that along the lower lash line, staying a little bit closer to the lashes. Okay, so for the shade Pink Chameleon, I'm kind of torn on whether to use it alone on the lid or if I should put something underneath it to make it pop more, since I'm going to use that on the inner corner as well. But I may as well just try it, see how I like it. And I'm just going to go in with my finger. Okay. It looks really pretty. It has that like pink shift. I feel like it's not translating on camera as pretty as it looks in real life, but there's definitely a lot of red sparkles going on. I can see some orange, I can see a little bit of green. I'm also going to pop that shade on my inner corner, underneath my brow bone. Okay, so really quickly to finish up this look, I'm going to go in with the Nabla Cupid's Arrow liner in the shade Arrow number 3. It's just a burgundy. I feel like it'll go along well. And then I'm going to use the Ofra HD Volumizing Mascara, and I'll be right back. So for blush, I pulled out the Flower Beauty Flower Pot Powder Blush in the shade Sweet Pea, just because I wanted to do something a little bit more mauvey to go along with this eye look. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that on. So I'm going to take this highlighting brush. It's the Soft Blend number 10 from Sigma. Their whole Soft Blend collection is really nice, but this is just like a little bit bigger than what I would typically use for eyeshadow, so I feel like it's a good size to highlight and really pinpoint where I want to put the multi-chrome on my cheeks, and also be able to get in this pan and just pick it up really well. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is a good size brush for using eyeshadow as highlighter. I'm just going to go ahead and put it right here. Ooh, that's pretty. You see that? Just kind of lightly blending it back. Okay, for my nose, I'm going to take a little bit of Lethal Cosmetics Ionic. I'm just going to use my finger because I just want to add a little bit of shine there. So last but not least, I pulled out the Oden's Eye Cream Lip Stain in the shade Little Jasmine. So this is the first look complete with the Norns palette, and I do really like how it turned out. I love that it was so fast and easy and simple to do, but still a little bit different. I feel like all the shifts going on give it a little something extra, so now let's go ahead and jump on into the second look. Alright, so I think I forgot to mention this, but for the look that I did yesterday, I started off with the Anastasia eye primer, and today I'm using the Milani eyeshadow primer just so I can test this palette out with a few different bases. I'm really excited about the color story I want to do today. kind of have it all mapped out in my head. So I'm going to start off with this kind of really light, kind of greeny, gray, olive, muted tone. I don't know, that's a lot of shades, but it's called Dazed. And I'm just going to start that off as a transition shade. It's definitely like a very light, cool tone. I mean, it is building up, but it's definitely on the light side. All right, now I'm going to go into this shade right here called Outsider. Putting that right into my crease. Maybe on my outer V a little bit. Just going in with a little bit to start blending it out, and then I will build it up some. I'm going to go back into just a little bit of the first shade, Dazed, and blend that over the edge. Now I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is called Colorful Black. That one is a little bit looser and has a bit more fallout, but I'm just taking it on a pretty tiny little blending brush, and I'm going to deepen up the outer V. Definitely tapping off my brush for that shade, but I'm just going to go in with a little bit more, building it up. I think that looks pretty good, so I'm just going to go back into my previous brush and just really lightly blend the edge right here. I'm also taking a little bit of Colorful Black along the lower lash line, like halfway. And then I'm going into that deep teal Outsider and popping that along the rest of the lower lash line. Starting off on the inside, but then I'm also going to blend it over the black. At this point, honestly, I feel like so much in the palette could look really, really pretty. I think that this shade Optimism all over the lid would look stunning. The shade Green Chameleon all over the lid would be pretty. You could use Hallucination, Self, Charming. All of those I think would be great options for this like matte color story, but today I really want to go in with this shade right here called Hallucination, just because it did look like a multi-chrome when I swatched it. I haven't used it on my eyes yet, and it looks so, so pretty. It has a deep green base, and then it also has a blue and periwinkle shift, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that on my lid with my finger. Ooh, that's pretty. I did get a little tiny bit of fallout, which I'm going to wipe away in just a second. But that is a really pretty color. Okay, so for my inner corner, I think it would actually be pretty cute to go in with this shade called Optimism. Kind of blend it onto the lower lash line just a little bit. I'm going to go in with a really deep blue eye pencil. This is the shade 04 Azurite Blue from We Makeup, and I'm going to throw that in my waterline. I'm going to throw on some mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so for highlighter today, I'm going to use one of the Norns highlighter. This is the shade Web of Destiny. And this was the lightest one. So there's what it looks like. It's a really pretty kind of pink golden duochrome. So I'm just gonna kind of put that right at the tops of my cheekbones. I definitely went really blush heavy today. I actually kind of really like the way that it's shifting with all the blush underneath it. It is one of those highlighters that's like really sparkly. Okay, for lips today, I'm going to go into the Oden's Eye Cream Lipstick in the shade Love Jasmine. So this is the finished second look. I really love how it turned out. I feel like that shade all over the lid just kind of stole the show. It's so shifty and sparkly and just a really, really beautiful color. So now let's go ahead and jump on into the third look. Okay, so for this third look, I already went in with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base in the shade Fair to Prime, and I really want to do like a neutral crease moment with a pop of the shade Charming all over the lid. I think that'll be really pretty, so I'm going to start off with this brown right here, which is called Pragmatism. So I'm just picking up a little bit of that and going to keep it a little bit lower down in my crease to start off with. And then once I deposit most of the product, I'll start kind of blending upwards. All right, I'm going to go in with a little bit more. All right, and then as I get to the edge, I'm just barely blending. So I don't really love the bronzer that I used today. I feel like it looks kind of interesting, so don't mind that. But I'm just going to go ahead and add one more layer, I think. Just really building this shade up. I'm going to go into this satiny brown right here, which is called Realism. And I'm going to run that along the lower lash line. Now I'm going to go into the shade Colorful Black on a bit of a bigger pencil brush. Just going to use that to deepen up the outer V. I actually feel like, again, kind of what I was talking about in the second look of all the options you could do. If you stopped right here and did this matte work, I mean, I still need to blend a little bit more, but I feel like any of the shades on the lower row would be really pretty. This shade, even the satiny red. So I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, I'm gonna go into that shade Charming, but I'm actually gonna try it with a glitter primer. I'm just gonna use the NYX glitter primer. Just gonna pop that all over the front of the lid. Oh, wow. Ooh, that is stunning. You can definitely feel some fallout falling down on my cheeks. Slightly blending that into the black. That is stunning, but definitely lots of fallout, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe that away. Overall, the fallout wiped away well, but to be fair, I didn't put any powder on my face today, so it definitely had something to cling to. But let's see. Okay, so for my inner corner, actually, I'm gonna go into one of the Norns highlighters, the mesmerizers. This is the shade Spring of Life, and it's a really beautiful light blue, and I mentioned in my first impression that I would probably end up using this on the inner corner, so I feel like today is a great day to do that. Just pop that on my inner corner. Today I'm feeling a bit of a brighter blue liner, so I'm going to go into Cool Mood in my waterline, throw on some mascara, and I'll be right back. Alright, so for highlighter, I pulled out my Oden's Soul Main highlighter palette, and I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is a really beautiful, like, natural champagne-y shade on me. I feel like this is a very, very natural glow. For me, at least. My version of natural. I want to finish off with a pretty light nude lip, so I'm going to use the Alamar Cosmetics Birthday Suit Lip Liner and then top that with the Tower 28 Oat Lip Gloss. Alright, so this is the third look finished, and this is definitely my favorite look yet. I just feel like that shimmer all over the lid is so beautiful. I just feel so pretty in this look, so I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed all three looks. Thank you again to Oden's for working with me and sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!